All right, hello everyone, and welcome to not a Final Fantasy Friday stream. Welcome to a pre-recorded Final Fantasy Friday with me, Jim the Editor, and once again I'm joined by my faithful companion, Chris. Hi, Chris.
Kalimera sas.
Well, that was Greek. So, last week we had some problems with the stream. And it meant that we actually lost 8 minutes of the end of the stream. The reason that we're pre-recording this is because of those issues, although they've been slightly made slightly worse by the fact that I've moved again, and my internet here at this new place is slower than it was even last week. So, yay! This is something that Chris and I are trying. Of course, if you're watching this, you know that we are pre-recording it, but showing it as a premiere. And if everything goes according to plan, then Chris and I should be watching this along with you. So we can talk, we can chat along with you in the live chat. Yeah. Ideally. So Chris is still getting up early in the morning. Still my evening. And we're still hanging out with you guys, which is what we like to do. It's part of the whole reason we do this. But it's going to be slightly different, at least for the time being. Now let us know in the live chat how much you enjoy this new style of video. Because, I mean, we could take a hiatus. That's the other option we have. A little hiatus until I figure out a way of getting better internet. But yeah, we'll see. So for this week, we thought rather than doing anything important, what we were going to do instead is play a bunch of Chris's favorite game. Yeah, that's right. Blitzball. Now, this is the... Chris is so excited. It's been quite a monologue to start this, hasn't it, Chris?
Yeah. I'll try to have something more to say, but I don't know how much help I'm gonna be here.
Alright, well, I mean, we can just chat and talk about things like we normally do. It doesn't have to be much different. I mean, this is the first time we've spoken all week, in person at least. But yeah, it's, things are a little different. Now, we got Zealots. We're gonna use
Which
Zealots.
one is Zealots?
The one that we were told was actually a keeper but has one catch.
Oh,
That was Jeff.
is this the kid?
No, it's not. It's not the kid. Yeah. It was Tony that told us he was a keeper. Should we use him as a keeper? No, we shouldn't use him as a keeper. I mean,
No, that is a bad idea.
Let's put him in the lineup.
We shouldn't rub Tony's nose in his mistake.
No, we shouldn't. But speaking of Tony, one of the reasons why we were going to do it this way is so that we would have suggestions for who to name the next Aeon after. Now, normally in the live chat we could get suggestions on the fly, but because we're pre-recording, we wanted to give everyone the opportunity of suggesting names for our lovely Lightning Unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
And we will tell you if those names are terrible or not as we watch along with you. Won't we, Chris?
Absolutely. Yeah, so far we've been naming them after people from who have been hanging out in the stream, right? So
yeah, and we have one person who's already laid dibs on Shiva.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't have Ixion yet.
Yeah.
So it's already coming in handy with that block. Let's say, if Keeper lets that in.
I should call Ixion Braun.
I mean, let's not give him too many ideas. It's certainly an option. It's certainly an option.
He's so enthusiastic.
He is enthusiastic, you're right. And do we reward that enthusiasm?
Yes.
Who are you and what have you done with Chris?
I need more enthusiasm in my life right now, okay, Jim?
I mean, what are you talking about? Your parents are very enthusiastic about everything you do. That's true. I laugh because I laughed at Chris's reaction. It's 100% true. They're very enthusiastic.
Yes.
Full of suggestions.
Yeah, when you put it that way, maybe it is a bit much.
See, maybe we shouldn't be rewarding everyone's enthusiasm. Maybe some people need their enthusiasm dampened. And, I mean, who but us are going to be those dampeners?
I can think of a good 3 or 4 billion people who would be happy to do that.
Yeah, probably. Probably. Ah, come on, Grav, give me a break. Half of these players are players that I would normally put in my kind of regular team if I was starting out anew from Luca. Oh, Keeper, what are you doing?
Oh dear.
Should have caught that.
The Aurochs really are terrible, aren't they?
I mean, we don't even have a single Auroch in this team except for Keeper, and it's just Keeper who is terrible.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, unless you include Titus, but...
I thought we still had Letty.
Nope.
Or someone.
Letty and Jasu are on the bench.
Oh. Okay, so wait, who do we have? We've got this Ronso guy. We've got
good old Zev. We've got
who is Zealots?
Zealots is a guy that Tony told us to sign.
Yeah, but who in the where does he hang out in the world? What is his thing?
In Luca by the movie theater.
What is his character? What is his motivation?
He has no character and he's unmotivated.
Okay, good.
So you can relate.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, we don't know who Zealots is. The guy, as we say, who hangs out by the movie theater. Titus, of course, and Keeper.
Mm-hmm.
Along with Biggs and Wedge. Famous comedy duo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we got Big Wedge. Okay, yeah, I'm okay. Now this makes sense.
Did you just say you're okay?
Yeah, no, I forgot about Biggs and Wedge. That was the issue that I was having.
Keeper again, Keeper. It was a 4. How did that go in? Oh man. Yeah, so if you haven't guessed, what's probably going to happen in a lot of these blitzball streams is I'm going to yell a lot. I don't apologize for that. Unapologetic for my enthusiasm for blitzball. I
am unapologetic about not caring at all.
Well, good.
It's a silly game.
It is a silly game, but it's our silly game. It's our silly team.
And Titus should feel bad for liking it so much.
I mean, he's born into a blitzball dynasty, Chris. We're not going to have enough time for Jack Shot here. So we're just going to have to hope, that Titus breaks that tackle. Oh, are you kidding me? You stopped that and Keeper couldn't stop a damn thing that was under his catch? Oh, I'm mad. I'm so mad.
As you should be.
So, yeah. It's one of those things, you know the line, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed? I'm mad and disappointed.
Good.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
So how many blitzball games do you have to play to fill up a normal streaming block of time?
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, I should have set we don't have the actual time to go by because we didn't start regulation time. I should have started my watch. But because I haven't started that, who knows? As long as...
We've been going roughly 10 minutes.
Chris,
Maybe
as
a bit
long
less.
as we want to hang out together, and you want to watch me play blitzball.
Oh, well, guess we can stop now.
Okay, well that's fair now. No, not stopping halfway through a game, Chris. Come on. And you have things to talk about. You have life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have things, I suppose. I can talk about the blog.
Yeah, you've got bloggy things. By the time this goes live, the newest Choose Your Own story Pokemon A Trainer Is You episode will be out. So that's a thing.
Yeah, that's true.
We can even talk about what actually happens, because you know what? It'll be,
because
as we say,
by
out.
the time this is live, it won't be a spoiler, will it?
No, it won't.
So yeah, we have we've just got the aftermath of our fight with those 3 Team Rocket people.
Now, what were those names? What were their names?
Well, there's the 2 competent ones who are Ned and Kelly.
Did you deliberately choose that because of Ned Kelly?
I did, because we have Jesse and James, Butch and Cassidy. There's a kind of theme going on.
So
I think this is
basically,
the thing that
put the names together of all the Team Rocket teams, the 2. I mean, we say competent, but are any of them actually competent? One's famous outlaws, right?
Yeah. What was I talking about?
You were saying that we're dealing with the aftermath.
I think this is the thing that a lot of fanfic writers do, is that they observe Jesse and James and Butch and Cassidy, and will give similar kinds of paired names that form the name of a famous outlaw. Like it's a theme of people creating Team Rocket characters for their
Like
own
Sundance
stories.
and Kid.
Yeah.
Not how this works.
I don't see why it couldn't be. I think Sundance and Kid would be a great name for a couple of Team Rocket people.
Would how I mean, how would you write those characters?
Well, I'd have to think about that.
I'm asking you to think about it on the fly.
No, I refuse.
Yeah, I think Kid should be a robot. The name should be slightly ironic.
Mm-hmm. That could be fun. A robot Team Rocket member.
Yeah. Robotic Team Rocket. And then Sundance, I think, should be not a hippie, but a child of a hippie. Who really dislikes their own
the
name.
weird name.
Yeah, exactly. And has kind of rebelled against hippie culture somewhat, and that's why she's paired up with... I don't know why it's a she in my mind, but that's why she's paired up with a robot.
Yeah, I've kind of been... I've been assuming that these are not their real names. Like Ned and Kelly are not actually the characters' real names, but those are like their mob names, basically.
But Kevin is Kevin's real name.
Kevin is not Kevin's real name. Kevin is a name that Kelly just decided she was going to call him.
Oh, I'm disappointed. I think Kevin should just be Kevin's real name.
No, Ned and Kelly know Kevin's real name, but they've told him not to use it because, they're mobsters and they shouldn't use real names.
I think Kevin should just be Kevin's real name. And it just happens to also be Kevin's code name.
I'm afraid I don't think that works with the continuity of what I've already written, unfortunately. But
retcons, Chris. Retcons.
Oh well.
Anything can work if we say it works. Oh, Dorian got the ball. In the meantime, we're winning.
Are we?
Yeah. So, dealing with the aftermath of the Rockets, is that all that happens this week?
Well, I mean that's basically what happens in terms of the story. But there's also some new things happening here. Our Silcoon evolves.
Yeah, very nice. Aura is now Aura.
Yeah. So that was exciting. I figured we've reached a significant break in the story.
Oh, also, we should say spoilers if you haven't read it.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously.
I mean, what are you doing here if you haven't read Chris's work already? If you were gonna read it, you were gonna read it earlier than this.
Yeah, or, there's also probably people who are not intending to read it at all and don't care. And we are boring intensely.
I mean, I think listening to your kind of theories on storytelling and how you're planning on telling your story is reasonably interesting. Just in general.
It's a very grand way of putting it, but sure.
Right, because I only signed them for waste all our money. I'm now going to waste all our money.
Good. What else are we going to do with money anyway?
Buy items.
We've already fully funded Owaka, right?
We have already fully funded Owaka. Ooh, against the Guado Glories this time.
They're quite good, aren't they?
They're speedy and blocky. So they do certain things well, which is not good for particular strategy, but we're not at the stage where we're requiring strategies. Yeah, if they're all level 1, they're all below level 3, so fine. It'll be an easier match than the last one. So, Aura evolves, so you've reached the end of a significant chapter. Does that mean they've made it out of Viridian Forest?
Strictly speaking, no, but that will happen in the next episode.
Oh, good.
Regardless of what choices we make next.
You mean you didn't offer them the choice to actually just go back to the start and give up being an adventurer?
No.
I feel like that should be a choice.
That might not be the most.
I feel like that should be a choice every week, just in case people have given up on the story, they're not reading it anymore, and they just want you to end it. The nihilistic view of things, but I mean,
yeah, I did consider giving the option to head back to Viridian City instead of onward to Pewter City.
Pa. Not gonna get through this. That doesn't matter. Oh, we might get through this. Oh, miracles happen. With that kind of shot power, Wedge can just shoot to his heart's content. And Noi can't catch it, it's a goal!
Woo!
Yeah. So up 1-0. Yeah, Wedge scoring from his left back position. So, make it out of Viridian. Does that mean that there's... I mean, there's a lot to do in Pewter. We could be months away from facing Brock still.
I don't know about that.
I mean, knowing you're going to go to the museum at some point, or at least offer the choice to go to the museum, and
yeah,
knowing your readers, they're probably going to let you go to the museum.
Probably. But I don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, we will definitely have the option of going to the gym pretty much straight away.
And...
the readers may take that, I don't know.
But you haven't planned all this out, right?
Planned would be a strong word.
You have... from what I've seen of our draft document, you've got plans in inverted commas, right?
Yeah, I have some ideas. There are things that I am aware are happening in the world, either because they happen in the games or because I've just come up with them.
Passing to the sleeping guy, always a good move.
Oh yes. And we will see how the reader's choices interact with that.
Yeah. But you haven't been like, ooh, this is a good idea to do X, Y, or Z at this. Like, you haven't said, oh, if we go to the museum, this is what we're doing. Yes.
No. I wouldn't write all of that out because then what if we just don't go to the museum?
No, you just keep offering. You just keep offering. Like, guys, I think we should really go to the museum. Yeah, going bigs. One for Wedge, one for bigs.
What you're describing is called railroading. It's poor etiquette.
Yeah. Probably not the best way to write one of these. But it's good for the audience to know, at least part of the audience that are fans of us enough to be watching this. It's good for the audience, I think, to know that you are just making it up on the fly. Like, every week is a new adventure for you as well as them.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the prospect of going to going on about it. Because I'm really excited to see what you do with it.
So am I, to be honest.
Because I think that of all the settings offered to you by the Pokemon games, I think Museum is perhaps the one I'm most interested in seeing what you in particular do with it. Because, I mean, you study old things, you have opinions about the Pokemon world and the ancient Pokemon world.
I do. I do have opinions about these things. I get the impression that the Beauty Museum is more of a natural history museum, but they'll probably have some artifacts lying around, right?
Well, I mean, they have Old Amber, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they are right next to Mount Moon, which is where you find the only fossils in the original games. So they could have a whole fossil collection behind the scenes. What if you get invited by one of the curators behind the curtain? Who knows?
I don't know.
Maybe one of the bug catcher's parents works in the museum. I don't know. Just spitballing here. But yeah, like, I'm excited about Pewter City. I think Viridian Forest offered a lot. I think we've done a lot in Viridian Forest. But when you consider how much you got out of, is it Route 26? 22?
22, I think.
22? When you consider how much you got out of Route 22, I'm really excited to see how much out of. And I wouldn't even be that disappointed if we just went straight for the gym and then left again, because I think that would be a huge anticlimax that I would enjoy on an ironic level.
I don't know. I think even if we just go straight to the gym, like I'm gonna be thinking about how to write Brock. Yeah, like Brock is gonna be a character and not just an obstacle.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So he will have things to say, and there will be things we can do with him.
I mean, even if you go to the Pokemon Center, I imagine there's a chance that you might run into Brock.
Oh yeah. I hadn't thought about that, but maybe.
I mean, that's where Nurse Joy's gonna be. If you turn the rockets into the police, you'll meet Officer Jenny. Who knows? Brock could be hanging around there. Just some thoughts.
I don't know if we have Jennies and Joys.
You don't know yet. Ooh.
Yeah, because I'm kind of.
You're kind of.
I'm kind of mostly working off the games, right?
Doesn't Yellow have an Officer Jenny?
Well, and they have a policewoman. Whose sprite kind of looks like Officer Jenny from the TV show.
And a lot of the nurses do end up looking like Nurse Joys in Pokemon Centers, whether that's immediately or over time.
But yeah, that's kind of because you don't want to make an individualized sprite for every Pokemon nurse in every Pokemon Center because there's no point. They're not characters.
So I think that is within Like, you could definitely have joys. So, I mean,
Like,
just...
At the moment, I don't particularly intend to go off the idea that there is an identical Pokemon nurse and an identical policeman in every city.
Oh. Well, I know certain subsets of the fan base will be just...
I'm sure they'll get up.
Oh, I'm sure they will. And so you haven't decided that yet? Have you decided about Brock's character?
I have some thought, but I think I'll keep it to myself.
Oh, how mysterious. How mysterious. And I would be remiss if I did not inquire about the thing which you did not want to talk about last week. Are we allowed to talk about it this week? Yes or no?
Probably not.
Alas. Sorry, guys. Next week it'll have to be. Unless it's the week after. Or the week after that.
I don't know. I have a thing that I really do want to share and that I'm excited about, but I am encountering more and more delays and I don't know when it's actually going to be done, so I don't want to talk about it live.
Or as live. Which is fine. Before I get told off in the live chat by Amit. So you've got the Pokemon Trainer Is You series going on. You've also had another big article this week on the blog.
Yes, I have.
One of your Patreon articles. Now, what are your Patreon articles, Chris?
Well, the people who are supporting me for at least $12 a month, every month they get to vote on just anything that they would like me to write about. They can make suggestions and, pretty much in principle anything to do with Pokemon, or I guess even it doesn't have to be Pokemon. They could tell me to write about the Hellenistic successor kings or something, and I would do that. But
or your favorite brands of chocolate milk.
Yeah, and I assume people are going to want me to write about Pokemon. But yeah, every month the Dark Council gets to vote on these things. And that they've had me write about Pikachu. Which is exciting, because even though I've been doing this for 10 years, I've somehow never really written about Pikachu directly.
When is the 10-year anniversary, Chris?
I don't know off the top of my head. Probably next March.
We should do something for that.
I guess.
We should start. We should probably start thinking about that.
What will we actually do, though?
I don't know. What do people do for celebrations? Mostly I just drink. Would it be worth putting together like a best of? Or our favourites?
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe presenting that in a video? I don't know. People like videos?
I have no idea whether people like videos.
People like us? Some people like us.
It seems like people like videos. But I feel like my audience is probably the narrow subset of people who like writing at least as much as videos.
5-0, by the way, Chris. I'm doing well.
Oh, are we?
You've been distracted the whole time.
I don't care about this game at all.
Well, surely you'd like me to win.
I'm 50-50 on that.
Oh, well, there are only two options. Well, there are actually three options. You can tie. But, thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Runs leveling up all over the place.
So do you think we can get Walker's Celestial Weapon in this session?
No! It will take years of doing this stream to get Walker's Celestial Weapon. We've been going about half an hour. Let's continue. Oh, we've got a tournament. That's what we'd like to see. Oh, we're gonna have to face the Albed Sykes in the next round.
Is this a problem?
Yeah, their goalie is really, really, really good.
Oh, right, yeah, that asshole.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that on the stream?
Yeah, I believe YouTube just updated their terms and conditions. We can't say the F word. Or I mean, oh no, I'll get demonetized. I'm not even monetized. So maybe we can. I'd prefer that we didn't. I like this being a family, friendly thing that we
Fair
do.
enough. Fair enough.
So yeah, you can say asshole.
Good.
But yeah, I mean, people tell us in the live chat what if anything you'd like to see me and Chris do for the 10-year celebration of our blog. My pitch is effectively a clip show, but us going through maybe even Patreon voted posts. Like revisiting a couple of things maybe that you wouldn't want to do necessarily in its own revisit, but you know, have the given 5 minutes, do a little update. That might be worthwhile.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about some of your favorite posts. I can talk about some of my favorite posts. Yeah, I think that would work. Trying to think. My favorite post. I'm not sure what it would be off the top of my head. I do like your 10 worst Pokemon series because I feel like it's something that you wouldn't do now. But
I probably wouldn't, no.
Exactly. And I like that it's out there because people always bring it up. Not always, often bring it up, and it annoys you so much. Because it makes you feel uncomfortable that it's something that you did. Even though I think it's a very, it's a worthwhile endeavor. Like, it's something that probably... Oh, go keeper! Was not expecting that. Actually caught the ball. They grew up so fast.
It's fine.
I mean, I quite like it because it's you putting a definitive opinion down on paper, which is something that you used to be far more comfortable with doing.
I don't think that's true.
You don't think that's true?
No.
I think it's very true. Explain your argument. Why is it not true?
Oh, and I think my opinions are less one-sided now. I don't think I'm any more reluctant to state them.
So you're saying it's personal growth then?
Well, it has been 10 years. Am I allowed to have personal growth in that time?
I don't think so. Not according to the internet. So what you're saying is the US made you a better person?
No.
I think that's what you're saying. That's the major thing that's happened in the last 10 years. I mean, you were most of the way through... Have you spent more time in the US in the last 10 years than you have in New Zealand? It'd be close.
Probably.
I mean, if you don't count, visits home as time away from the US, or when you were at field school.
Oh, well, if you don't count visits home, then yeah, because it's 7 years out of 10.
And I know you do like to jaunt across the Pacific.
A lot of time during that time out of the US.
Yeah. Your carbon footprint, my friend, is...
Oh, shut up.
What? You say that like it's not true.
It is true. Do we want to have that conversation now?
What about your carbon footprint?
Yeah, I mean, maybe that is a good reason for me to give up everything I do and
And you trailed off there. Oh, Chris has disappeared.
Have I?
Oh, no, he's back. So you cut out when you said and it sounded really dramatic. So, as far as everyone here is aware,
referring to.
So far as everyone here is concerned, what we heard was, it sounds like a really good argument for me giving up everything and...
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe being an academic is bad, because we do all travel a heinous amount for conferences and things.
But yours hasn't all been for conferences.
Well, no, it's also been for work.
And for fun.
Yeah, but, you know, I don't go to Europe regularly for fun. I go there because, like, I am literally an archaeologist.
Yeah, but Europe's not a huge deal if when, in comparison, you're going from the east coast of the United States to New Zealand.
Oh, also that, yeah. I mean, if the option is, like... If I want to cut out the carbon footprint and not do that, then the option isn't I stay in America all the time. The option is I don't do a PhD and I don't become an academic.
Yeah, perhaps that's the argument. I mean, I think a lot of that conference stuff is going to change. I think that...
I hope so.
Well, I think that people have realized that, Zoom, less so Skype, but Zoom and Teams are actually effective ways to hold panels and conferences and things like that. Judging by some of the stuff that I've been working on recently, that I think there is a big shift. I mean, admittedly, I do work for a project that's called the Energy Ethics Project, so they're particularly concerned with things like carbon footprints. But I do think that more and more people are going to lean on at least having a virtual option, right?
I hope so.
I don't see the downside. You don't have to pay for catering. You don't have to take up huge lecture halls or event centers. And yeah, you do miss out on the networking and social side of things. But I think that, like, there's a reasonable trade-off there with giving access to people who can't afford travel.
Absolutely.
And if you're taking away the catering cost, then you're probably also making it more affordable to just attend the conferences, because, spoiler for those of you who aren't academics, that you actually have to pay to go to these things, a lot of these things at least. I spoke at a conference in New Zealand in the end of January and paid 200 New Zealand dollars for the privilege, which is real backwards to me, but how it is. And that's how it always kind of has been, and I don't think those barriers should exist in the academic world. The fact that they do, I think, is a testament to our kind of problematic past, or academia's problematic past, as being like a gentlemanly or upper class pursuit. So I'm actually really excited about...
Yeah, I mean, universities are bad, and so are we.
We're not bad.
No, we are.
Debatable. You're probably better than I am.
I don't know if that's true.
You're probably better than I am.
I am also bad.
Let's agree to disagree on this one. But I think there's a way to be better. Like, it might just be less bad, but I think there are easy ways that if you or I are organizing conferences now, then I think I would make sure that they were live streamed somewhere. Because there's no point in not doing it. All the technology exists.
Right.
You literally just need a... I mean, we're doing this for something far less important. I mean, some may say far more engaging and interesting. Some may say...
I don't know about that.
Some may say...
I think this is about as engaging as the average academic conference.
I think it's more engaging, to be honest. I went to it. I mean, that conference that I went to in January was 3 days long. It had even been 4 days long. I don't even remember how many days long it was. That's how engaged I was. But there were like 5 papers that I wanted to see out of hundreds. And of course, 2 of them were on at the exact same time, so I couldn't even see those. 2 of them were in the same panel as me. So did get to see those and helped organize those. So why they were engaging, but yeah. And yet people paid, as we say, hundreds of New Zealand dollars, but also paid for accommodation because of the networking side of things, and it's just silly. Not that they would do that, but it's so unnecessary. It's such a waste of resources. It could be better spent in other places. Anyway, where were we before we got on the soapbox, Chris?
I have no idea.
I mean, we were talking about your carbon footprint, and I mean, I don't know why. We were talking about Pikachu.
Were we?
Before we got interrupted.
How did this happen?
We went on a 10-minute detour somehow, because it's you and me, and we get carried away sometimes. Domestication of the aesthetics.
How did we get from Pikachu to what?
I think we went through 10 years. This is what happens when we don't have Tony or Anna in the chat to remind us of what we're talking about. We actually have to think about it. You were talking about Pikachu, you were talking about doing this for 10 years. We then talked about what we're going to talk about in 10 years. This is boring for anyone who's listening because they've just listened to us talk about it. We were talking about Pikachu.
Whatever, who cares? What are we saying?
Well, you were talking about your the fact that you got to write about Pikachu for the first time in 10 years. And I hear, word on the street is, you had a searing hot take.
Did I? Oh, yes. I mean, I said that ironically, right? I don't think anyone actually cares about this. But yeah, I think that Pikachu is a squirrel and not a mouse. There, I said it. Pikachu is not a...
Pikachu is not a mouse.
Pikachu is a squirrel.
Justify this.
Well, for one thing, Pikachu's creator has said in interviews she didn't mean for it to be a mouse specifically. Just kind of a small, cute thing. And for another, she said that she was thinking of squirrels when she gave it the big red cheeks, the puffy cheeks.
So rather than saying she, should we give her a name?
Yeah, her name is Atsuko Nishida. She's a freelance designer who worked with Game Freak on the first Pokemon games. And she designed a number of the most beloved Pokemon of all time. She designed all 3 of the original starter Pokemon, as well as Pikachu. And she designed Vileplume, which is my favorite Pokemon.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump on you there. I just think it's important to, rather than saying she, or even saying he, but to give names to these people, for people who don't know at home, but also just for, recognition.
Yeah.
They were.
This is a very important person in Pokemon's history that I think people may not otherwise be aware of.
So all the more important.
Very camera shy. Atsuko Nishida very rarely appears on camera or in interviews. And actually, even for this interview, quite famously, she sort of hid behind a giant Pikachu soft toy.
Ah, interesting. So, Pikachu's a squirrel. Anything else come out of that? Or just the, the usual basics? Oh, Clefairy was supposed to be the mascot.
Yeah, I mean, I talked a bit about the history of how Pikachu became, the Pokemon, the one that everyone knows.
Which I seem to recall your conclusion was by accident.
Yeah, which I don't think is a particularly new take on this, right? It's something that has kind of been out there for a while. But yeah, like, Pikachu became the most popular Pokemon by being a really popular Pokemon. There's not a lot more to it. Like, it doesn't seem to have been deliberate, at least initially. I mean, they definitely do, after the first couple of years, ramp up, putting Pikachu front and center and things. They made Yellow version, and then from there on, they started putting Pikachu in a whole lot of stuff. But at first, like, Pikachu isn't a particularly special Pokemon in the original release of Red and Blue, or Red and Green, as they were originally.
And it was just because it was a popular Pokemon in the reception of the games that it gained a more prominent role in the anime, right?
Right. Yeah. The writers of the anime apparently had observed this was one of the most popular Pokemon with kids who had played the game.
Oh man, are we going to have enough shot? Oh, just.
No.
Just is the answer, and we're still not going to be guaranteed it goes in, so fingers crossed, Chris. Toes crossed as well. Yeah, Titus. That's how we do it, Chris. That's how we do it.
Is it?
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Okay.
Ah, man. So, my girlfriend was up in Fife. She now lives and works in England. And of course, I live in Scotland. My girlfriend was up visiting last week. Well, not last week, last weekend. And we did something that neither of us had done before. It's a local walk. It's in southern Fife. We're up in northern Fife. But we went down there, and I don't know how this is a thing. It absolutely would not be a thing in New Zealand. But it's a chain walk where you're walking along.
A what now?
It's a chain walk. So you're walking along the coast, and all of a sudden, the path kind of splits into two, and there's the actual path, and then there's the right next to the coast path with a massive warning sign on it, saying, "Warning, don't attempt this at at high tide. You may get stuck in caves, and the tide gets quite high, so you could die. Also warning, only do this if you're fit, because there's a lot of there are some vertical chains," is what it actually says.
Some vertical what?
Chains.
Are you supposed to climb up the chains? Is that...
So, this it goes right along this rocky part of the coast. You're underneath a cliff face, and there are kind of a series of like headlands that you have to either walk around, and there are horizontal chains and footholds that you are literally holding onto the chain and walking out with the ocean or the sea below you. It's only shallow sea, but they're breaking waves below you. Or the other times where you have to climb up over little like bits that have been carved out in the rock. So you're climbing vertically up a face, like 4 or 5 meters, just holding onto this chain and using your feet in like little footholds that sometimes are really good, sometimes less good. It was a lot of fun. Like, I really enjoyed it, but it was actually a bit of hard work. Like, I feel sorry for anyone who was like, it would be safe. It's just kind of going to be a walk around a cliff. If people think of the Witcher TV show, they climb up a chain walk there when they're going to attack a green dragon. So I thought it was going to be like that, with a lot of vaguely horizontal chains, a narrow ledge that you have to walk on. But no, it was literally like, oh yeah.
So what you're saying is that the real version, which you did, is harder than the one from the Witcher TV show.
Yeah, legitimately. Legitimately, and...
Well, that seems fine.
Oh, but it was actually really strange because there were parts that didn't have chains on it, and some of the parts that didn't have chains on it were probably more dangerous than some of the parts that did have chains on them. Like, there were parts where you were scrambling up a not vertical, but kind of quite steep path that if you had slid back down, you would have gone off the edge behind you and into the water. Like, it was remarkable how unsafe it was. But at the same time, while I was on the chains, I didn't feel that unsafe. While I was watching Rosanna go on the do some of them, I was slightly concerned. But I had every trust that she was going to get through, and we both obviously did. I don't think I'd be recording right now if anything had gone wrong with either of us. But yeah, it was a really odd realization that, you know what? I'm quite surprised that this is a thing people are allowed to do by themselves. And you know, there's no kind of connections that you could clip a carabiner into, no warnings like that. It was just like, make sure you're fit, don't do this at high tide.
Well, I'm glad you didn't die.
I'm reasonably glad I didn't die too. And you still have to, you know, get a real job and do all the job applications, and our beloved former supervisor in New Zealand asked me if I would consider organising a postdoc in Cape Town, South Africa, which is, I mean, half a world away from here and half a world away from New Zealand. And although I have friends in South Africa, it's not necessarily the safest place to live. So I have to consider doing that. Things would have been much simpler if I'd just fallen off that chain, Chris. Of course, I don't mean that.
I know.
I was telling them. I know you know. I know you know. This is our 4th game of blitzball, Chris. I'm kind of...
Sorry, did you just say something? I lost the audio for a second.
Yeah, I'm just saying this is the 4th game of blitzball we've played in this session. We've been playing blitzball for a while. I'd be impressed if there was still anyone watching or listening to this dribble. In fact, wouldn't it be hilarious if right now in the live chat it was just me and you?
Yep, I would not blame anyone.
In
fact, I am formally discouraging anyone from continuing to watch the rest of this. It's just more of blitzball. It was just a dreadful game, and you shouldn't encourage him by watching this.
Yeah, but at the same time, Chris, who knows? You could come out with some kind of pearl of wisdom. Then everyone would be kicking themselves for missing it. Wedge.
It will be, at best, a fake plastic pearl.
A fake plastic pearl of wisdom. Well, you know what they say, never look a gift pearl in the mouth.
Or one of those cake decorating pearls.
Well, those aren't... I actually quite like those.
They are quite nice, yeah.
Oh, man.
But you wouldn't want to make a necklace out of them.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Probably.
What's the worst that could happen? It's that you get peckish and eat your necklace? Sounds okay to me.
Well, they might sort of dissolve because they're made of sugar.
Yeah, but I mean, then what? Oh no, you don't have a necklace?
You'd have this sticky kind of residue on you, and it'd be unpleasant, and you have to wash it off.
Giggity. I'm ashamed of myself for that joke. Now no one should be watching. Everyone leave. I'm ashamed. I hope he doesn't score here. Oh good. He's passing like an idiot. How has 4 minutes gone already in this game? In their second half.
The passage of time.
I mean, yeah, we talk far too much.
I thought that was the point.
I mean, it is the point, but how have we just lost an entire half of a game and I don't feel like I've done anything? In fact, I feel like...
You seem to have scored 2 points.
Well, no, that's in the first half. This is the second half. I feel like Zealots has had the ball the entire game. Oh, Wedge has learned a new tech. Waka's learned a new... Sorry, not Waka. Titus has learned a new tech.
Good for them.
Yeah, good for them.
I could never get the timing on those right.
It is far more luck than skill. I think the later you press them, it's supposed to be a little bit better. I think. There's like a sweet spot, and I think for different skills it's at different times. What the tendency I think of new players is to freak out and just press the copy tech button straight away, which is I think why they put it slightly later in the flashing animation, which is quite devious of them. That makes sense. Oh well, we've got a rematch against the Guado Glories by the look of it. And I think this will be the last game that this coming game will be the last game that we play. Because that at least gets us a good prize from this session. We get Waka's new limit, his best limit.
That's the what is it, attack reels?
Yeah, that's attack reels. So despite the fact that his attack won't be very high, he'll be hitting a lot of people for actual damage.
Oh good.
Which, you know, is always a good thing.
Especially for a white mage.
Yeah, especially for a white mage.
Shame he can't use his blitzball to heal people.
Well, no, he heals others, Chris, but if only he could heal the hole in his heart. Left by the death of his brother. That's why he's become a white mage, Chris.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, for so long he was all about attack, attack, attack. But then his brother passed away and he turned over a new leaf. And this is why he so steadfastly sticks to the path of the white mage, despite demonstrably being terrible at it. Is because it's in honor of his brother.
This is Oren's excuse as well. He also has a hole in his heart.
He has a literal hole in his heart, though.
Yes, but also from the deaths of Jack and Nebraska.
Oh man, we just conceded a goal though. If we don't win this, Chris, we haven't got the limit, so you better be cheering for us.
I don't care.
You want us to have to do this all over again?
No, I want you to have to do this all over again.
I mean, I wouldn't hate that. I quite like blitzball. I can have and will spend hours and hours and hours playing this game.
I am well aware of this.
Yeah, but you haven't seen it. My siblings, they have seen it. In fact, they've done some of it. Where did my early teenage years go? And right here. This is where they went. In this watery stadium. It's not entirely true, but it is mostly true. What, you say that like you were spending your teenage years doing something better, Chris?
Well, I didn't have Final Fantasy X, so...
Yeah, but what were you doing? What was teenage Chris doing before he had a blog?
Well, probably Pokemon.
So the same thing 30-year-old Chris does.
Early teen would have been... Yeah, the Ruby and Sapphire would have just come out.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. So what you're saying is the character growth happened, but to some extent.
I think I had character growth as a teenager as well, but that's not preserved in blog form.
Where is that preserved? Is it preserved in movie form? Because I know later teenage you
probably not
wrote at least one movie. What was the movie that you wrote, Chris? Do you want to talk about the movie that you wrote?
No, I don't even remember what it was called.
Was it not called, like, Lord of the Clichés?
Something like that.
And there was some kind of epic lightsaber battle of cliches at the end?
Yeah.
Starring...
No, I think we cut the lightsaber battle.
I don't think you cut anything from that film. It was 4 hours long.
No, it wasn't.
Isn't the story that Nick wanted you to write a short film, and he came back and you'd written 37 minutes?
I think it was 29 or something, but yeah.
I mean, if you just developed it a little bit more, it could have been a full feature.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I mean, it wouldn't have been a great feature, but I mean, it could have achieved cult status. I mean, look at, what was it, Spaceballs? It wasn't too dissimilar to that. I mean, to be honest, that man held it back somewhat. We're still losing 1-0, by the way. Oh no! Oh, and Wedge didn't learn them. This is going to be a wasted half. Down 1-0 and not even get any text from it. Oh, it's uphill battle the second half, Chris. It's the final. Gotta put it all on the line. We didn't even grow up any levels. What a terrible half of blitzball.
Yeah. Well, you have only yourself to blame.
Yeah, myself and the random number generator that runs how the game works. So you wrote a film called Lord of the Clichés. Did you write any of the others that we made?
I don't think we made anything else that I wrote, no.
The one thing that we made that I wrote was because something that you wrote went off the rails. Do you remember what that was?
No, I don't.
That was... I don't remember what it was either. So, great, well done bringing that up, Jim.
I have no idea what you... I don't remember what the thing we made that you wrote was either.
It was the one about the superhero that Nick didn't like, so he sabotaged it.
Really? I didn't realize that was sabotaged.
Yeah, it was supposed to be far less comedic than it was shot. Nick decided he wanted to do a comedy, but the script had been written as like a biopic drama. So obviously that turned out really well. I mean, there were some really lovely shots in it, and a lot of the scenes that Nick saw, he executed it a lot more brilliantly than we had written or imagined. Unfortunately, the tone of the lines didn't necessarily fit the tone of the visual image we put out there. But at the end of the day, he was the director. I just know that Bob and I were both very not put out, just a little like, well, of course that didn't work doing it that way. Well, of course it wasn't as well received as it could have been. We might lose this game. Oh dear. Oh dear, we need to score 2 goals, and we need to score 2 goals in the next 3 minutes.
I accept no responsibility for this.
Oh no, this is properly all my fault right now. There's not really much I can do. They're much faster than we are. And it's just been a slog. Really being able to get anything away. Come on. Okay, so we should get a goal back here. Then we'll have 2.5 minutes to get another one. Time I just finishes crossing.
What happens if we draw in the final game of the tournament?
There's extra time.
Okay.
Alright, 2 minutes. Plus animations. Whoa. Come on, Chris, we can do this.
That, right?
I don't think I can.
There is no we here. I have no involvement in this.
I mean, you provide moral support.
I explicitly do not care.
Oh, Zev! Needed you there. And this is what happens. They then get the ball away to someone that we can't catch and can't tackle. Which is problematic, because... Oh, he's going to shoot too. Oh, you bastard. We're going to lose this game. Oh, no. Chris. We're going to lose the final. We're not going to get attack reels. Oh, this is tragic. This is tragic. I'm legitimately upset. Don't like losing blitzball games. And this is a big one to lose because it means I've got half an hour of my life is going to be spent replaying this tournament. And half an hour of everyone else's life, if they choose to watch it, will be spent watching it. Watching me replay it. Go with that. Which is going to leave us about 40 seconds to try and get another goal, which is not long enough. Alas.
Alas.
That's so annoying. That is so annoying. It's all because Zev didn't do his job and didn't tackle that guy. And nope. Good move from him. Come on, Titus. Oh no, Titus! That was our chance. That was our one chance. Come on, guys. Get there, get there, get there! Engage him! Yeah. What are you doing? Okay, well, can't pop. Yeah.
The animations on this feel really painful when you're running out of time.
Yep, they are. And we're not going to get the shot off. Damn it!
Well.
Oh man.
You win some, you lose some.
That's a really bad one to lose. I feel sad in my heart.
I don't care.
I'm really sad, Chris.
It's okay.
It's not okay.
Everyone in the chat still loves you.
It's not okay.
I don't know if there's anyone in the chat right now, but if they are, then they still love you.
They shouldn't.
Look, we got a return sphere. That's something.
Alright, everyone, well, that's been the stream for this week.
Everyone in the chat say nice things to cheer Jim up about losing his game.
I've been Jim the Editor. That's been Chris.
I've been Pokemaniac Chris. Have a good week, everyone.
See you next week, guys.